Yahoo! Prof here, and I finished up watching the Wayne show. It was a short one because it was early in the day at a convention, security convention, I guess. And when I was done, I was like, I got another one in me. But then I had to take care of some other stuff, and I'm putting something away. I'm like, I'm tired. And the time says, yeah, I'm tired. King Arthur. What's up, dude? Yeah, are you here to watch anime? Yeah, you missed the video games, dude. So almost everything you guys saw in the previous video that I unboxed, all these little things here and there, etc. Those are all put away. Woo! I did good. Oh, there's King Archie. Hey, King Arthur. Dude, you are shedding like a madman. Come back here. Where are you going? Where are you going? Yeah. So you might have caught a glimpse at some items. Those are things we've already taken out that I've showed off in a number of videos. But we are expanding those. Or that collection, that section, that and I hinted at it in a previous video. Both of these two are related. Also in this order, sort of, are these guys. These are the Wera harpoon bits. And you can see why. Big tip, big butt, nothing in between. And then these are the reduced shank. So these are even thinner than the thin bits I normally use. They don't go as long, right? But they're much skinnier once they get there. So we'll take care of those. I think those might be one of the best PC building bit. The best PC building screwdriver. Well, obviously, hold on. It's obviously the LTT screwdriver, right? Yeah. Now, I've actually been trying to get like a precision Phillips 2 for 15 years. And I think this is about as close as I've gotten so far. So I'll have a video on that and kind of leading up to it. But for now, what we have here is, put those off to the side. Some of you from previous videos may have already seen these. These are my Wiha, or V, is it V always? They're called power blades. And I did figure out which ones I'm missing, and those are the square ones. Those are on order. I knew I had picked up all of the available ones at the time, except for one set, and it was square, because I don't really use square. Though it turns out woodworking and cabinets still use square, which, as I've been fixing up more of the house, I've been using more of. So I put those on order. I wasn't too chuffed, too perturbed, because they wouldn't have fit in this holder anyway. So I was like, whatever. What I really think a lot of these holders should do, this is generally for a 1/4 inch square to 1/4 inch hex adapter. Eschew that. Nobody uses that really anymore. Or you don't need it with the bit set. And that would have given you 1, 2, 3, maybe up to 5 more screw holes, potentially. You know, I know this is following the standard design for these, but I don't know anybody that really has ever used that spot. You can see that this magnet's a little chipped. It may have fallen on the floor a couple times off of a toolbox. But yeah, these are the power blades. They are X number of millimeters. 100 millimeters probably. Well, yeah, here, let me show you how many millimeters they are. With this 9-foot rule that only does inches. 3.5 inches. T 2.34 inches to millimeters. Gemini says 88.9. That might be why these Weras are 89 millimeters. And yes, 3.5 inches is a standard bit size. Let me grab this. Okay. These are all recalled bits. 1-inch insert bit. Milwaukee carbide, matrix carbide. 2-inch power bit. And then in here is that power blade, effectively. At least that's what Wiha calls them. Power bits really became a thing when impact drivers, because early on the extensions that took the insert bits, you know, like basically the reason why I want the insert bit is it's the least metal, you know, like these guys. These were not impact rated, whereas you could put a power bit on there, like a 2-inch power bit, and you know, you wouldn't tear apart the extension. The 2-inch power bit was fine, but a lot of times that is not enough reach. All right, and thus I like the 3.5. And if you really want to get me going, you guys just saw the harpoon blade, which is a 6-inch bit, 100 or 150 millimeters, like this. This Uxel, 4 millimeter thick Phillips 2 is. And that gives you a hint as to why I picked these power blades. These power blades, if you notice, as the size of the bit gets smaller, so does the shank. And that is very, very important. I believe I saw these, AVE was using them to disassemble, especially these security Torx, these long security Torx over here, using them to disassemble power tools. And I actually did some power tool repair initially, and yeah, if you want to use something like an electric screwdriver, something like my snap-on here that has another one of the 150 millimeters, you can see where I normally touch that bit, I guess, guiding it in. And then you can also see where I normally touch the bit, which is right outside of the chuck here when pulling it out like that, or putting it in. If you want to use this, right, something like, let's grab this guy. What size is this? This is a 9/64. There you go. That is beautiful. And don't put it in impact. These are not impact rated. But a security hex that you can put into like a torque limiting screwdriver, man, that makes life so much easier. The other thing that kind of comes with these, if you notice, these are also Wiha, and these are their Centrofix screwdrivers. This is the bigger, the standard one, and this is the ESD safe one. Now, realistically, I think we mentioned this in the video on this extension. The ESD safe one to me literally looks like a Centrofix extension, just like wedged into like mold, and then a handle is molded over it. This one is much slimmer, but it does not feel as solid. I believe there were comments and like reviews on websites that it also isn't perfectly centered always, because they literally just took like the extension you put in your drill, and I've tried to buy one. They're always out of stock in the US though. Probably have to import them. And they just molded, to me it looks like they just molded a screwdriver over top. The original Centrofix, which you can actually get through Home Depot in the US, made in Germany, there you go, which for Wiha, I believe is always true. It's Wera, made in Czech Republic. So they're a German company, originally made in Germany, but now, as you saw, have changed locations. So what these do is, because of how this Centrofix works, and they have ball bearings on like 2 parts of a triangle, right? Like there and there, they have ball bearings. Let's grab like this guy right here. This is a T10. This now feels like that's a standard bladed screwdriver, except most bits like this would never be this skinny. And you'll see that in the Weras and why I didn't go with the Weras initially. But then you'll also see why I went with them now, because there is something special about them. Let's do a 2X here. That's ball end Allen. But you can see how this is how it's standard. And you kind of saw it with the Milwaukee. Now those matrix carbides are kind of special, but most ones will go like halfway at least. Kind of like with the reduced shank Weras here, where they go halfway with just standard hex material, right? Standard hex stock, and then they mill it down to what they need. That's like better than average, and that might be 2/3 the length. Most bits do exactly like this. They go as far as they can before turning it down. And what that does, like especially on power tools or electronics or anything with like recessed screws, like laptops, that sort of stuff. No, we don't get up to the bigger stuff here, but like speakers, especially like when I was repairing speakers, those screws are like buried. They are buried in there. And these are, by the way, these Wiha power blades are replaceable individually, kind of like I ordered these Wera ball hand hex. These, why'd you order these separately, and why is there's a case over there? Well, these are the American ones. These are the metric, American standard fractional bits. Wera does not include those in their standard set because, you know, they're European flavored, Europe flavored. Yeah, they will go as far down the bit as they can to turn it down like that. So that is why those power blades from Wiha are so unique. Also, the fact that they're this long and there's security. There are some other brands out there that will do these, but they're not security. I think I've seen some that are impact rated supposedly, so you might want to look at those if you need that. But if you're going with something like, you shouldn't be impacting a freaking T8, really, right? Like, come on. You can see I've used that T8 quite a bit, especially on the smaller end of these. I use them quite yeah. This you can see the wear on the what is it? That's a 2.5 mil. Yeah, 2.5 mil is a pretty common size. This posi drive too, because this is one of my only posi drive bits. Which is why I'm pumped that Linus Tech Tips has finally started making them. So we're gonna look at those later because they're basically adding to this guy. And this is, I got it very far initially, and then it just fucking gave up. Yeah, I got it off the. You can see this thing's a bit dusty. That's not from me. It must have been sitting. I think I got this from Chad's Toolbox, if I recall correctly. And the price at Chad's Toolbox, holy heck. If you guys want deals on German tools, this was like, I want to say almost half the price there. I double check because this is, you have to be careful. This Wera Kraftform Compact, right? It comes in KK60KK. You need the second KK, if I recall correctly, and that means ball end. I believe it's the same for the bits. Oh, they don't have that. They just have the number on it. But yeah, you have to make sure, because they just will call this the Wera Compact Kraftform because that's what the set is. You specifically want the ball end, which I believe is the second KK. I might be wrong there. But yeah, double check, because the price differentials on that are a lot. Yep, C60 KK. If you just get the Kraftform Kompakt 60 non-KK, that is just, it's the same set, but they're not ball end. And in my opinion, yeah, it's probably a nice set, to be truthful. But what really makes this set, besides being a Wera one, is the fact that it's ball end. And by the way, it's not just I showed you ball end hex. That's kind of common, actually. I showed you some ball end retaining hex from Wiha. In here is also ball end Torx. Mind blown. And that's actually where the KK comes from. KK Torx. Yeah. When you're getting this, now if you don't care about the ball end, which you should, save the money, right? But realistically, in my opinion, the reason, this is a fine set. It's a fine set. They have plenty of other sets available. But if you're getting this set, the reason why you get it, this is actually smaller than I thought it would be. This could like go on your belt. It's like Velcro bagged, huh? I wonder what they intend for it to. Okay, your belt can go through there. I could never see putting this on my belt and then like opening it up and then being like, all right, let me like get this and pull it out. Looking at this, the reason why that's Velcro is to go like that. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna flex this around and go like that. If you're somebody working out of a truck or something like that, it's like Velcro. They actually include the other piece of Velcro to stick it to whatever you want to stick it to. Okay, also it's got a hanger. These cases can be a bunch of money, by the way. Like I was looking at like buying this separately and if I want to get the case later sort of thing. The cases cannot be cheap as well. So it's got a little hang thing, so you can hang it off like your toolbox or where you're working, or your tool bag, like once you open it up. But then it also has for when you're storing it. If you don't already have a place that's Velcro, they give you real Velcro brand Velcro, a nice big patch of it that you can stick wherever it is you want to hide that or store it. That's pretty cool. They got a little image of the screwdriver on there, so you know what it is. Wera. We're not here for this screwdriver. Oh, wow, it feels like there's nothing. Like that feels like it's a hollow. As some people would say, a hollow brain orange cat. King Arthur James, what are you up to? Yeah. He's like, yeah, if you pet me the way I don't want nowadays, I grump. Yeah. Yeah. Tell everybody I'm not a hollow brained. No. Yeah. And Hamlet before you was very smart. Even in Hamlet's last days, he brought 2 dead varmint. 2. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're trying to get outside. You got spring fever. Like, yeah, everybody, I'm shedding, and I got spring fever. I want outside. You gotta have to get your tick and flea, because we had to get that tick off you into last year. Because you weren't going out, and then suddenly you escaped. And came back with a tick that was got very, very plump and fat. Not good. So it looks like Hollies are retained. I have gained Orange Cat. King Arthur, what are you doing? Huh, dude? You're sniffing everything and shedding like mad. Holly's bits, yeah, this feels, compared to this, like this feels substantial. I think the ESD still feels heavier than, I'm not saying things have to be heavy. I'm just saying that it literally feels like this thing's hollow. I can see why some people don't like these Wera grips. I compared to a fellow grip, it's got the same idea where like you grip it, like my hand falls either like I can't grip it back far enough, or I can't grip it like you see this hand, then my pinky's off, right? Or up here where like I land in between this, whereas on the fellow grip they shift this back or forward, so there's a little bit more up front or a little bit less. And like that, I'm sure that'll be fine, but if you get that pinky on there, much like that, that'll give you even a little bit more. You know, even on here you can kind of see that pinky's made it on there. It's just a shorter, and it very much like I want to put my ring finger right where that hump is. I'm sure that you could get used to it because it's like, see, but then if I grip here, this is grippy, but I'm too far away from the front because normally you want your thumb on like that ridge there to control it. It's like the point of that, right? It gives you a little bit of push, pull, you know, a little bit more controllability. You can point it around. And same thing on here. Also prevents it from rolling too. But it having those on the screwdriver, if you're holding it this way, having a flat to get your finger on. That's why these are here, up here. Theoretically, that might be a hex to you. You might be able to put a wrench over it this way if you need to and turn it with it being a hex. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot there. And for me, I got to grip it like... it is awkward. I can definitely see, because this is my first time really holding like a... There might be a bigger Wera handle than this. I know there's a lot of smaller ones, but for me, it's very grippy. I will give it that. I wonder how well those hold up, because those are dang grippy little pods. You've obviously connected them so they don't just like fall off individually. But yeah, I almost want to hold it like with my thumb back here to grip there, but then my pinky's back there vibing. But either way, how these are retained is you can tell there's elastic in the middle, and then there's little flippy flappies on this side. What's kind of annoying with that though is you need both of them, because you need to see this side for the tip. Like say you want a T25, you gotta flip this up to see the tip. Okay, I want this one. Then, you know, if you flip that, okay, T25, and I guess then you go like that. It's not the end of the world. You can see the machining marks on these. If I go to 1.0, and maybe we can get some King Arthur. He's like waking up the computer and connecting and disconnecting USB devices. You can see the milling marks on this bit. Not saying that's bad. I can just, there you go, 8674 KK meaning, look at that. When's the last time that you guys saw a ball and Torx? Not even a ball and hex, a ball and Torx. So when I found out about these, I had to pick them up. And so that's a pretty nice lock, but you see it's got some play in and out there. It also has some play like that. Now if we compare that to a Central Fix, there's nothing. It's focusing on the wrong thing. There's nothing in a Central Fix. That's why this is so cool. A lot of people really do like these rapid adapter. I think they're called a wrap adapter, because they do seem to engage and disengage very well. What's on the front here? Wrap adapter technology, hand plus machine. So they're saying you can use this with a drill, not impact. It's a drill. You can see the little like lines on it. So that would mean like electric screwdriver as well. It does, once you have a bit on there, it does sit well back, you know, like back in your hand well. But that's the thing I want to avoid, and that's why, you get something with a central fix in there. Kapow! And what's actually going to happen with these bits is I have to do a sad. I gotta figure out where I gotta put that. Well, let me go and grab the big blue guy. Let's take a ride because I want to fit all my remaining bits in here that are this kind, like even if they're not power blade-esque, because I do have some ball and hex Wihas on the way as well. Wihas? Yeah. That have that snap ring on them. However, the reason why I didn't buy those originally is they're not the ones that have the snap ring have that same issue that these Veras have, where they are full. What do you want to call it? Like full. Full shank size. Like they don't get skinnier. If you noticed on the Wera Torx ones, they've kind of changed it up and they do get skinnier. Maybe not to the same extent. Temporarily, we're going to use this guy. And we're going to take... Oh, well, turns out that's what was on my foot the whole time. I somehow went and walked the whole... Wow. King Arthur, I need some sleep, man. He's like, yeah, you do. You need to watch anime with me. So temporarily we're going to move. I don't think that's going to hold. But until I get another one of these on order for these bits, it's going to have to. And to be truthful, I don't know how many of these are going to survive. They may end up over on that bench or something. This guy, still useful. It is longer than the harpoon bit I showed off. But actually, I have a feeling that that harpoon bit is just going to be perfect for PC building. And if you're buying any sort of premium bit, these aren't actually all as premium. They're like generic. These are Nickel. Some of these are UXL. They're literally just like S2 steel. Phillips 2, and they're 4 millimeters. There's some wear in them, but like they've been doing me great. And I only even considered changing because one of you guys in the comments mentioned those harpoon bits as like oh, do you know about those? I'm like, oh, I do not know about those. Are these something I should know about? And turns out also these have gotten much harder to get, tariffs and all. Whereas the harpoon bits, it's anybody who sells Wera tools, you can get harpoon bits. Like this bit still wouldn't be replaced either because this is a Phillips 1 that's 3 millimeter, I think. And specifically the harpoon and the reduced shank are only Phillips 2 from what I saw. So, you know, and this length of Phillips 1 sometimes has gotten me out of a pinch. And yes, you're like, Phillips 1? That looks like a 00 or something. Yep. It's crazy what they can do nowadays. I tell you what. You know? Let's... Oh, somebody's not happy up there. That's why King Arthur went running off. Somebody got a hairball or something. I'm gonna have to get this perfect. This is a very temporary solution. I gotta keep telling myself. Whoa! I keep telling myself that. because I can already tell you, like, this does not hold it as well as these did. And also, I basically found I don't use the 2-inch. I use either the insert bits or the 3.5 is really what I prefer. I mean, I can use the 2-inch, but it's... And I do need to get a new... These are just like generic DeWalt's that were over here, I think in something else. I just kept them over here. And these matrix carbide from Milwaukee, from all I know, also are only available in Phillips 2. So I got a Phillips 1. Every now and then you need a Phillips 1, but this one's pretty torqued. I used to always leave it in that L key over there, so I at least would have a handle on it. But I don't know, since I had this magnet guy, I kind of transitioned off that. This guy that I picked up was not meant for this. It was meant for like a whack ton of these insert bits. You could probably put a whole iFixit. I think I did the math. The whole iFixit, like one I have in wood, could fit in here. You'd have to make some inserts though, because like a half or so are 4mm bits, and these are all 1/4-inch sized. But you could like reduce an iFixit, like we're talking 1/4-inch and 4mm down to just this magnetic thing. And if you were using it very frequently, I mean, I think you could even, if you got a lighter color like the green, you could probably even write on it with like with my Sharpie. Not a Sharpie, it's a Zebra. The Zebra oil-based marker, because that won't come off. Because you can do little notes like this that say no spin. That's the repaired precision screwdriver. Where am I putting this for now? I don't know. This is a good question. I agree. Oh, lovely. Everything always bounces and falls down underneath the workbench, or the trays here. But yeah, more than likely that'll get a harpoon bit. And can I stuff this in here for now? Ooh, probably not. Maybe. That's not a danger to anything at all. Yeah, I need to get another like strip. These I may end up reusing otherwise. These are the ones for the LTT screwdriver. They now have their own little like containers, but their own containers do not even fit all of their bits. And that's kind of what those look like. Yep, I even have 2 that I put the screwdriver stickers on. So I may not actually buy a new one, and that might just temporarily live there until I get the new containers, and I can just make those orange guys those ones. If you're running why do you only have the matrix carbide over here? Because realistically, these are recalled for a reason. They said you could use one with impact, and you can't. Drywallers loved them because they last literally forever. I am using the same. I have in my DeWalt up here, that's had the same bit in it since day one. This has had the same bit in it, and it literally doesn't even look like it's used. They're so hard though that with an impact it just snaps off the tip. It was a marketing issue. Literally amazing product, marketing issue. But for over here we want yellow because that's my main one, and you cannot buy. Like, why don't you just buy another one in yellow? I wish I could. You can't. You can't buy orange either anywhere. So I'm glad I have enough to fit all the bits for the LTT screwdriver already. And yeah, like the plan would be just like with this one, going smallest to biggest, right? and the Torx in this case were over here. You know, and I plan to do that. So most of what's in here, because I have Posi Drive in here already, and I have you're like, well, why'd you get the case if you're going to take them all out of the case? Well, it turns out that just the cost, because I remember I bought these guys, which are the American Standard Fractional hex round end separately, right? I did the math. I think this was $74, and I think all the bits would have been 80 something. So even if I take the case and put it back in the box with the Velcro and everything, I'm still up on the whole equation. So there are going to be some more, obviously, in here, because here are the Torx. We've got, what was it, T15, T10, T15 probably, T15. They put it up here. That's interesting. I'm used to them putting it on the base. T15, T20, T30. Wait, oh, yeah, it's because T25 goes there. T25. These three are probably the most common. T15, T20, T25, T30, and then T40 is just that straight up hex. There's way more here, right? This is going from T10 up. This is going from T8 up to T40. So that would have been T10, T9, T8. And those are all security, right? And they're all skinnier. I would have to get... Oh, it's a T27 too. We didn't have a T27 here. And I have had to use a T27 every now and then. T27 is basically like when you put a T25 in, it's loose. Very similar thickness here. They actually have less hex shank down here, and I wonder if we take the Centrifix. That's the... Okay, so that's fine. What about something like Mr. Snappy here? Like, because this is a standard, like, pretty standard amount there. These Wera, the new ones, the KK Torx, yeah, they are about as short as they can make that hex. Not that that's bad. It's just that's pretty standard. Even the Milwaukee's are, they might be on the shorter side now. Here's a newer. It's not the newest because it has a silver tip. Here's a newer because see how it rounds down a little bit. That's pretty similar to the Wera. So yeah, so I have like bits everywhere. Because if it's a bit I use, like that kind of Milwaukee 6-inch went over there before these guys existed. Because most often I run a 3.5 in, and then for every now and then when you need that, when you go and grab it. But yeah, so two different uses here, right? And you're like, oh, I thought you said these didn't taper down. Well, yeah, the KKs apparently do. The ball and hex don't. The ball and Torx seem to. And then here we have, and you can see that right there. See, the ball and hex are not updated to that KK design, right? The so it's basically hex, because they're hex bits. They just go down and they step down. But with the ball end, and we've kind of illustrated that with the ball end, I had some Wera Precision, and you're like, how'd you find these? Well, I found these, right? Because I was looking for the ones that retain with snap ring that are actually Wiha. Right? And then when I found these, I was buying those. That's when I found the Precision screwdrivers from Wera that were ball end hex or ball end Allen. So it was all kind of adding together. So here, that should be, was it 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd imagine? 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm not used to looking up here for the size. I don't know, you guys think that's better than at the base? Because I mean, like, theoretically you can see it. And like when it's in here, I think that's how they designed it. So it's when it's in their little pocket, you can see it better, right? And like I said, this thing, if you're an on-site, like a truck person, or you got your tool bag, much like I keep the iFixit kit in my tool bag, depending on what you're using, you would potentially rather keep this guy in this little kit in there, you know? Yeah, that green rubber is really grippy. I wonder how that holds up over time. It is oddly, like... Yeah, and some people might want to swap this out because there's like a ratcheting one. There's also like a double speed one where you click the back and it goes real fast. Yeah, so that is all of those. What's left in here is effectively Phillips 123 and Prismagic 123. Which, if you notice here, Phillips 123 and Prismagic, or 0123 and Prismagic 123. I don't have a Prismagic 0 in the Wera. And because these are literally the same style of bit, I don't really need these 6 in with this, right? So I think my plan kind of is put this back in here and then put other bits in with this, or extensions, and put them to use. Because there will be some other bits that need to go in here that are coming. I'm not going to say they're going to fill up the entirety. Remember, I do have square 1, 2, 3, so probably on the end here, just like with the Prismagic. Yeah, and I don't want to move, like I could move the Prismagic over here, but this kit I grab all the time, either with one of these or with that snap-on screwdriver, or one of the snap-on screwdrivers I have. Let's pop this open. There are it turns out, like, in America, we have way more sizes than the European flavors of bits. 7/64. Now 8 times 8 is 64. So this one is slightly smaller than this 1/8 inch. All right. You can see that. Little bit smaller. Whoa, I thought I was zoomed in more. Little bit smaller. And I don't know how small these go, so I'm just going to kind of set them up here and kind of jigger them over. 3/32 double that, so that's 6/64. I think that's probably the smallest size. Yes, sirree. That sure is. Quarter inch. Yep, that should be the biggest, because 1/4 inch is literally the size of the material. And though there are some out there that do bigger ones, it's the same for this. They stopped at 1/4. So it's going to kind of be a different thing. These are going to be the round guys for access, when you need access. And these are going to be the security ones, when you need skinnier too. Because remember, these can get skinny, but they only get skinny for that far. And a lot of stuff that I do, you need to put this in a deep hole about yay deep and still be able to get in there. You won't be able to do this. But these aren't about getting in there, right? They're about, you know, if there's like a block here and you need to get it in there and still turn it. That's the whole point of the ball end, right? Okay, so that one up there was, what, 1/8 inch? This is 9. So that would be the next one. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm seeing with the Veras is there's just less of them. 9 64ths. Then we got, that'd be 10 64ths, 5 32nds. 3 16ths times 4. Yeah. 12. 7 32nds. That's 14. Was this wasn't 13. So I skipped one. So it's 12. And this is 14. What would that be then? 13 64ths? Did I miss one maybe? This is 1/4 inch. That would be 16. That's 14. Maybe they start skipping them as they get bigger? Because I'm pretty darn sure I got all of them. So that's what this guy looks like. And there will eventually be... This one will fill up more because along with this, I'll have some... Along here probably, I will have ball end... Oops. I will have ball end hex, right? With the snap ring on them. Here, do you see how short like there's no extension on this? They're basically cutting as little off as they can. Probably because, and I don't know if I'm correct in this, but because making the ball end makes it so much weaker because that neck, they want to neck it down as little as they can. I'm almost wondering if they could have done it like they did these Torx, but these are a newer style, you can tell. Still label it up top here. Those are much harder to read because there's not like a flat, right, like that guy. I'm like 99% sure I ordered all of them. Let's check Wera's website. Oh, that was always fun though. Fun as in annoying. They call those the Z bits, whereas the Torx are the ZZ. God, my eyes are starting to hurt. That's why I'm getting real tired. I get sand in them. All impact. Something in the back of this. 842/4. So they're not the Z, it's the small ones that are Z. 842/4 bits. Alright. So here they are. They are Z bits, but they end in a 4 instead of a Z. I don't know why. The other ones are ZZ, and you can see ball tip. They do make these in the 1-inch ones. These are very specialized bits. The whole point of going with a 1-inch insert bit, for those wondering, is if you go through the bits a lot, you're replacing them because they are cheaper, because there's less metal, effectively. So when it comes to metric, we have 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what came with in that kit, the screwdriver shaft. for the American Standard, you get 5 30-seconds, 3/16, 7 30-seconds. And this should continue on, and it's not. And I don't know why. PDF data sheet. Can we get it on the PDF data sheet? Why does it feel like I'm moving? Oh, because King was up here. I'm like, why does it feel like I'm moving? Downside of glass. When cat on glass, even cat hair, feels like you're running your mouse through sand. Oh, of course. Oh, there you go. There you go. So 3 30-second. That's 6 64ths, 7 64ths. Oh, is this doing the... Hold on. You might see it correct in real time. This is even when I rolled back to the studio driver. Yeah, look at how clear that is. It's like HDR and clear type text are broken when your monitor goes to sleep. Fucking dumb. Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we have all the sizes. So I just skipped 13 and 15. 64, so that must just not be common sizes. Or as common sizes. I feel like the Wiha probably has them. 3/16, 7 30-seconds, and 1/4 inch. Maybe not. Like I said, maybe they start to skip them as they get bigger. It's not like drill bits where it's every single size. So we have about half of this free. Like I said, there's gonna be three holes taken up somewhere down here with the square 1, 2, 3. Oh, Paisley, hello, hey Paisley. And then I just clicked on it. Whoa. Oh, well, I got a kitten. Why are you wet? Kitten, why are you wet? Her side was wet. So, we got all those to do yet. 3, and then what's that? 10 pieces of the magic ring ball end. So that'll easily fit, and I don't know what I'm going to do with nut drivers. That's 21, but the ends on those are big. We may get another one of these that's not yellow. Or if I use orange for up there, right, that'll give me a second orange one, and then orange is close enough to yellow. But what do you got? We got 10 ball ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably. I had to do that over here as well, where some of them got long enough where I had to like kind of like wrap them around. And I could move like these over to here, then you'd have enough room. But I want to keep them the same layout because I'm used to how this is laid out. You know, where it goes metric hex, standard hex down the middle, then Torx along the backside, and then back here is positive drive, and then up here is Phillip. And then there's 21 total of the power blade. We have power blades, right? But nut drivers in metric and standard. But those get pretty big up top. You might be able to tell they're on the left. So I doubt I would actually be able to make them over here, like go in each and every one of the slots. So that's where we're probably going to need to do some testing to get a third one of these. A lot of people are recommending using the fellow handle because it can turn into a T handle. However, reading up on it, almost everybody has to do modifications because the bits retain with a ball bearing that kind of like pops in, and they're double-ended bits. That's not really what these are. You know, these are those like a power blade. I forget what that style is, but like a detent. Like they use a detent, but the detent's not on the bit; it's on the thing. So a lot of people pop that detent out and then tap it for a set screw, and then they take you know, like one of these guys, and they permanently put it into the fellow handle. So maybe I'll have to toy around with doing that. The other thing is I'd prefer to get one of the Centra fixes and put that permanently in the handle if I'm going to do something like that. Because those hold it, as you saw, way, way better. But then I'm still requiring or relying on a detent, or like a set screw, sorry, to do it. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think about that kit? You guys probably aren't going to take them out and put them on this magnet tray, but more often than not, I'm not going to use them in there, and that can't hold all the bits I need it to. Depending on if there's room, if I have 6 slots left on here. Oh, dude, she just like body slammed me. If I have 6 slots left on here, maybe I'll take the Wera bits out of there, and I will put them in here. That way, you know, when I do grab this, if I do need just Posi Drive or Phillips and I don't need the skinny ones, I've got them. Well, we can actually do that math now. What was it? I needed 10 plus 3, 13. And how many slots do we have? 8. Right? 1, 2. So that's 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. So it's 14. That would be the bits we do there. And we have 4 here. We can do it. So I think I will. I think we're going to eschew that entire holder. But for me, and I've done this before with like fellow and stuff. Often, if you need I don't even need like these 6 bits in here, effectively free bits, because I needed the ball and Torx and the ball and hex that are right here, and then I expanded with the standard, the US standard ones. But just the because it's about $10 a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so that's 10 bits in here that I needed. That was like $74, I think. Let me double check here. Let's check out Mr. Chad's toolbox here. Order has been updated. I still gotta hit him about my missing screwdrivers. That guy, I don't know, he must got back ordered. That's the order's been updated. Don't know if it paid received. Order confirmation. I said 74 is wrong. 89. 89.56. But yes, the bits were we gotta go KC Tool for that. KC Tool. Shipped. Order confirmation. Oh, it's the replacement one. Order shipped. No, not order shipped. Order. Nope. Not the order confirmation. Oh, jeez. Email so big. Email so big you need to expand email to a full page. Down here. $11.92 a piece. $11.92. $11.92. So every bit, you might be able to get them a little bit cheaper. Elsewhere, KC Tool tends to be a little bit more expensive, but they actually have the shit when they say it. I just bought from a new place. That's where I was showing you. A new place for me. I should have read reviews first. They say they have it in stock, but I don't have to hit them with 7 to 14 days for shipping. And what is it? Paul Mac Tools. Apparently they do the Coke in USA, but they get iffy reviews. But yeah, so I was saying $10 a bit, right? That's 10 bits. That's $100 some. 10 bits. Yeah. 10 times is 100. So even if you do that, but if they're $11.92 a piece, that's even going up further. And if I recall, these new Torx are even more expensive. So that's why it was cheaper to get that guy for $90 than it was to individually order the bits. I still did individually order all of these, so that was the only way to get them. Because with these German tool companies, generally their kits only include the metric stuff, unless they make a fellow who does actually have some specifically US sets, but they used to back in the day sell at Fleet Farm, so maybe that's why. But yeah, unless I end up needing this, what I'm going to end up doing is actually moving these 6 bits over here, back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I will have I will have, like here we have Phillips, right, and then we have Posi drive back here. I mean, they're all going to be back here just because of how this ended up working out, because the rest of this is going to be 10 of these are going to be Allen, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I can't math then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would leave 2. I'm 1 short. I have 1 extra there. I guess I can make it up that way. I really don't want to do that though. Oh, we can always put 1 in the middle in this spot. I was always saying not to use, basically, or you can't use, that I think it's dumb. That should just be normal hole, normal hole. Like you could probably get 3 to 5 holes out of that hole, but we'll figure it out. I think we can get these 6 bits into here and still have room for the 3 squares and all the what were they, the ring retention, the magic ring, which are shorter. The magic ring guys are like half this height, but they're like the ring detent ball and Allen from Wiha. That's why I didn't originally get them, is because they are also the same way these are, where they're not reduced shank. They reduce very close to the top. Those are much more useful for my needs. But I didn't even know these existed. Those ball end Wihas seem to be pretty desirable with the magic ring detent, because they're always out of stock. I wonder what people are using them for specifically. And I believe it has a mix of metric. It probably has these 4, right? And then it has a mix of standard as well. So I may not then do, I'll probably do, X number on this side with X number here or something. You'll probably see a video when that comes out. And then I'll probably just take the Phillips 2 and put it smack in the middle there or something. Just because keep it consistent. If it's going to be inconsistent, that's the one bit I would want to grab regularly out of a weird spot, just because you're going to use it so often. I also might be able to get like a that is like sort of a standard size for like a 1/4 inch hex to a 1/4 inch square as a socket. I may be able to get like a little socket guy to put in there and then hold the bit and like retain it. It's like an oddly specific size. That's why I don't know why they include it on every single one of these holders. Very weird. Very weird. The other thing is that these are exactly the right size for the sides, like the strips on the side of your toolbox. Like it seems purposeful. I don't know if it is. I don't know the history on these things. So, well, Paisley's going to see you guys out. How's it going? Yeah. You want to watch anime? Thought so. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe, that like, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.